Hi there folks, how we doing? Welcome on into the video. If you're here, it's because you were perusing the guide that I made on toxic terrain mines, and you wanted a demonstration of how Blastchain mines work. So I'm just going to give a brief overview again of the functionality of Blastchain and why this is important, and then I'm going to show you a little couple of tricks that I use to actually get it done easily and conveniently, practically in game. So if it wasn't explained in the text of the guide, well, perhaps here actually seeing the gem will make it easier. The important thing to note about Blastchain mine support and why all of this matters is that last line of text. Supported skills deal 5% more damage for each prior mine in the detonation sequence. When you click the detonate key with a bunch of mines on the ground, those mines will go off in order rather than all at once. The detonation sequence simply means the order in which those mines go off. That means that the last mine that goes off is getting a massive more multiplier, contingent on how many mines you had go off before it. However, one very important thing to note is that your detonation sequence is reset whenever you hit the detonation key. So this means that if you have, say, 15 mines laying, and you hit the detonation key, by the time you get to the last one in the chain, you're going to have 14 times 5% more damage on that last mine, which is, what, 20 plus 50, 70% more? Probably did the math wrong, but somewhere in that neighborhood seems about right. However, if you were to then hit the detonation key again after 5 mines have gone off, now you're only going to have 45 or 50% more on that final mine. You lose out on quite a bit of damage. So basically, the biggest individual thing when playing Blastchain mines to remember is do not spam your detonation key. You hit that key, and you lose damage if you've hit it already recently. Don't keep clicking detonate. Do not put detonate on left click. I know it's tempting. I know it makes your map clear feel better. If you only really care about map clear, sure, do it. But for bossing, take detonation off left click. Actually time your detonations. And if you understand how it works, you will get significantly higher DPS. And I'm going to show you a little trick that I use that helps me keep track of it in game and makes it a lot easier to time the detonations correctly. So let's lay down all of our mines here. I think with this build, I have a count of 19. That's going to vary depending on gear and passive tree and such. And now we hit the detonation key. And we don't look at the detonation key again until my mana bar starts going back down. That's what I'm watching right here. Because once I see that bar start to go back down, that means that I'm placing mines and they're not being detonated because it's re-reserving mana. And at that point, the detonation sequence has ceased. It's no longer detonating mines if we're placing them and they're remaining. You can also look at this number up here if you want to, which just vanished on me. And once you see that number start to go back up, right there, that means that the detonation sequence has ceased again. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you want to detonate again immediately, because if you detonate again immediately, you're not going to have very many mines out. You'll probably have like 5 or 6, and so that detonation sequence will be a lot less powerful than your initial one when you had, in this build, 19. So if the boss that you're fighting is giving you the breathing room to stack back up to 19, or 18 or 12 or whatever your maximum is, basically to stack back up to max before you have to detonate again, then you're going to get another peak of really high DPS once all of those mines detonate and all of the pods land. But that's not really necessary. That might be the optimal DPS, but what you really need to take home from this is do not spam the detonate key and watch your mana or watch the count up on the top left and only reuse it once your first detonation sequence is done, so once you're placing mines that are no longer being detonated. Which again, the easiest way for me to keep track of that is just watching the mana bar. And it's going back down again, so now we can hit it again. It's that straightforward. It's pretty easy to keep track of, and don't stress it too much if you spam a couple times in a boss fight out of haste or out of being scared because you're trying to dodge stuff. But try your best to keep track of it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and enjoy the rest of the guide.